Crosshair says that he Control-Alt-deleted someone. You can't say that. Say that on YouTube. Oh my gosh. Crosshair said, I Bob blasted that dude.
Back in Nam. He's got flashbacks, helicopters flying
He
over.
does! Instead of helicopters, it's the, what do you call it? The vulture, the snow vulture.
Welcome back to another reaction of Bad Batch Season 3. This is episode 5. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Dom.
Let's jump in.
The comfort that the beginning of this episode had really reminded me of the same comfort in Ahsoka. When Ahsoka is on the ship after she's had that meeting with Anakin and her crew rescues her, and she was probably sleeping for like 2 weeks at that point. But when she wakes up and there's that peaceful, tranquil, to me it reminds me of waking up in a beach house. There's that feeling, right? And so it was very similar. I felt like there was a resolution type of feeling.
It's interesting you go with Ahsoka there because I also felt a growth in a lot of characters today. And it was very heavy on the symbolism. So I say we went back to the beginnings of season 1 and 2 a little bit in this episode. And actually my friend Alex pointed out that this was a shot-for-shot beginning to season 2. Oh. And it was The Outpost. So that's the episode where we see Crosshair go against the Empire. Crosshair gets his armor back, and there's a cool moment when you're looking at his armor straight out of season 1 or even the Clone Wars, completely unchanged, and you look at Hunter, Wrecker, they've gone through some changes. You see battle scars, they've repainted a little bit, you see the growth, right in front of your face, and now Crosshair is starting all over again. I feel like that's why I say all this could have just been handled with like a good old knuckle brawl in the back, and they just talk. Or a conversation. No, but it could have. I think that had we just focused on that for a little bit of the episode, it would have kept the right tone. It would have just given us a little bit more, and then they could have gone and chase monsters.
Ooh, but maybe that's the point. If they're aging in dog years, maybe their brains aren't really as fully developed as we want them to be.
Remember when Crosshair guy?
You can't see that! I really thought he was picking up decaffeinated heads off of
Oh, there were definitely heads in those helmets.
Oh my god. Are you just gonna keep going?
Pew, 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 pew. In today's episode, Crosshair decaffeinates someone.
I had 2 cups of coffee today, and I mean, I am decaffeinated.
That was in a way that was Crosshair's attitude in this episode. You can call me a lot of things, but don't call me that. We see them battling a huge sandworm, ice worm. We'll get to that in a minute. But
I'm sorry, I just got flashbacks to SpongeBob.
Oh, there's so many. No, we'll go down the whole rabbit hole of what that.
We've got jokes today. So they meet the worm.
Okay,
the
wait.
Worm.
Hold on. There's a lot of avenues that we can go down here. Okay. So this episode is the one that keeps on giving so far, because depending on your childhood, there's a lot of different ways that this episode's gonna run. For me, this goes all the way back to Tremors, because that was for me the pinnacle of sandworms, big worms in the ground.
Hold on, it's work, I promise. Hold on.
We've got worms.
Are you aware of the Alaskan bullworm?
The Alaskan bullworm.
Alaskan bullworm. From SpongeBob. My screen's cracked. Don't put me on blast like that.
Okay, I won't put you on blast.
You can put the picture.
Yeah, let's put it over it.
Okay, so There were a lot of other references you made that the worm reminded you of in all of the worm scenes.
Yeah. For me, it was Tremors because that movie's fantastic, and it felt like that precariously stuck on a rock in the middle of Nevada for me. I love to see it, and a lot of people are saying it reminded them of Dune, and there's a lot of crossover with Star Wars and Dune, anyways. But especially in the theaters, everyone has it on the top of their mind.
No, he screams it.
SpongeBob,
He screams it.
the Alaskan bullworm.
No, it's like, the Alaskan bullworm. Okay.
So I almost wish that wasn't the case. I wish that we had an all-out brawl between Hunter and Crosshair a little bit. We see him get into it a little bit, but I felt like all the emotions that are charged between everybody. I mean, I was waiting to see like a couple of Marines get on each other and start punching and work it out the good old-fashioned way, and they kind of do, but I think it would have added a little bit more of a serious tone. And that's why I say we're going back a little bit to season 1 and 2, because there was a lot more lightheartedness. Here's another creature coming in where they have to solve a side quest and figure out some sort of plan together, which is fine. But it took away the tone for me that was so special about the last couple episodes. And I'm really hoping that the tone comes back in, because don't get me wrong, it's a great start to the season, but that tone is what was making this show so special for me up until this point.
You're right, it did change, and I think it's right around the time that the sea monkeys started jumping around. That's really set the tone for the episode.
Yeah. I have, my gut is telling me that this is all done on purpose. Obviously, if we're looking at side-by-side intros of two different episodes being shot for shot identical, there's a reason we're being fed it this way. We're being fed the tone. I mean, I really feel like everything's about to change. It's clear it's going to happen, but that paradise back home, I don't think it's going to be there very long.
We're ready. We're ready for the next episode.
Yeah, we are ready for the next episode. Let's move on. Let's get there. Let's keep the momentum. I don't want to fall asleep already before we hit mid-season, but I have hope.
Okay, bye.